You are going to tell me, Isabel, you are going to take too many work in progress with you, or too many cast-ons to do, and too many projects overall with you during the month of September. So I may use that video to do some kind of a review of what I have in mind, and maybe tell you after some time what I really did select to take with me during the month of September. So hello everyone, welcome or welcome back to my very small place on the internet where I talk about my knitting life, my knitting adventures, or sometimes misadventures. My name is Isabelle, I am in Normandy, and with the typical Normandy weather today, there is some sun that is coming in and out, so the overall light may change during the recording of the video. And there is a lot of wind. We are on the trail of some kind of a storm that has been hitting us from far away the last couple days, and we had huge waves and a lot of wind. So if the chimes here are a bit too noisy, I may just take them down for the recording of the video. So today it's going to be a video, more or less a regular video about my knitting adventures. One finished object, and I'm gonna just show you which work in progress and which cast-ons I have planned for the month of September. We are on August 28th, so I'm pre-filming because I won't be able to record for at least 2, 3, 4 weeks during September. I may be home, but I'm not sure I will be home. So I will tell you, and as I've just said, there are too many projects that I have selected for now. So I may, cut this number down before I actually am leaving for September. So if that kind of process of way of thinking and organizing is of any interest to you, please stay tuned. So, first things first, and this is the second time I record this segment because the chime over there, I had to take them down. It's too windy and they were chiming all the time. So, I mean, I love that, but maybe for a video recording, it's not the best sound environment. Anyway, what am I wearing? As the weather is nice and extremely windy, it's a little colder outside. So I am wearing my self-drafted tee that I knit with Mayo Tweed, a very beautiful yarn in this very dark blue colorway that has light blue and yellow speckles. I really loved it, and it's a very thin yarn, so it was quite a long knitting, but I really needed that because this is something I casted on when I broke my 2 wrists. And talking about that, I am wearing my 2 wrist warmers. You've seen me wearing them a lot, so I'm just going to be linking them down below. The pattern is a free one, and it was, suggested to me by one of the lovely youths that I'm forever thankful for, because not only do I have many other knitting options to knit some additional wrist warmers, but also it gave ideas to some other people. And I am wearing one finished object that we are going to be talking about right now. Okay, my only finished object, which is my latest cast-on. I'm not even sure my Ravelry page is up to date because I don't think I have taken any pictures of that. It's a bandana that I cast it on because I wanted to finish all of the silk yarn I had bought to make a sweater, and I intentionally passed the middle point of the bandana with what was left over from the silk yarn, but as it was in the just the gram area, and I don't think my house and kitchen scale is accurate enough, I did miss more than what I had intended to. Anyway, we'll talk about that later on, but what I have been doing is using the Punkt by Julia Wilken in Neon the Neutral book by La Bien-Aimée, the Punkt lazy intarsia type of knitting to make these little spheres, and the sphere recipe is the one from Punkt. So I used, I think, the extra small, the small and the medium, and I did not use the bigger ones because I don't think my bandana was large enough to accommodate for the bigger spheres. Punkt is a big shawl, so it can have these bigger spheres on several places, but not my bandana. So first, a little silk scarf that I finally casted on 3mm needles, and you see it's very sheer, and I could manage to do what I wanted to be doing because the pattern recommended 4mm needles, I guess, and I'm not sure if I had already tried with 3.5, 3.75 or 4, but anyway, I had made many different startings for cast-ons for this bandana, and I did not like any of them. So what I ended up doing is plain stockinette. So plain stockinette on 3mm needles and a 2-stitch I-cord edging, because the 3 stitches I-cord, so 2 stitches, sorry. 3 stitches I-cord edging was a bit too thick for the fabric, which is very light and very see-through. And I used some of my mohair leftovers in the bandana to make the little dots. So this first little one is a small one, and it's with the pink mohair that I have used in my dusking. This one you will see on several occasions is it's not mohair, is what I have left of the air guitar. I just have a small nuggets, maybe 1 meter or maybe less, left over from my sorrel sweater. Is from La Bien-Aimée, and I absolutely love this colorway. God, if I ever go back to La Bien-Aimée's pop-up store, if I ever manage to, I will ask one if they have some sock. I mean, I can look on the website. I know if they have some sock yarn that is close by, and I may just get couple skeins of just air guitar because it is so lovely. So the next bubble is a medium one. So this one you don't see much, and I've used it only once. It's the blue from La Bien-Aimée that one of you, it's Vespa, that one of you sent me. And the top part of the bubble is with the purple mohair by Polo and Company, and I did not say the silk thread is by Polo and Company. So not quite sure where I was interrupted, because I did set up my computer, but not to go to sleep or anything during my recording, but I forgot to stop the screensaver. So of course the recording was on pause when the screensaver started. Anyway, I'm not sure that I recall where I was. I guess, saying that the silk thread is from Polo and Company. It's an ultra lace or lace weight type of yarn, of silk yarn. And I did do my sweater pairing it with their own mohair, silk mohair in the purple. And you see it doesn't show much. So you see the fuzziness, of course, but it doesn't show much. So I decided I was not going to use it anymore in the little dots because they were not showing enough in my opinion. So this is the red mohair from my last year's my mother's scarf that I made her for Christmas. This is the orange mohair that I used in my youngest son beanie. Here is at the bottom of the dot the pink one, and at the top of the dot a very variegated and muted trellis silk mohair. So here I tried the blue from Vespa from La Bien-Aimée and trellis, and I was thinking it doesn't show much either. At the center of the scarf, of course, I did do a bit of color management to use air guitar and show some kind of pops. And I went back to the red, once again air guitar in a small one, and the orange one to finish. And then I ran out of the purple silk lace weight. So I knew I was going to run out. I did not think I was going to run out that soon. I guess I need to get a proper scale to be able to weigh out small quantities of yarn. But anyway, it doesn't really matter. And last Saturday, I was at my little yarn store, like, you know, she offers every Saturday afternoon that people come and knit, and there are more and more people coming. We were at least, I don't recall, 7 or 8 last Saturday. And I was running out, and I had said, okay, I'm going to stop there, and then I'll see how I will end up this part. And at first I was thinking to use the orange to finish. And they said, but you know, your dot is not finished. I said, okay, you can see that it's not finished and it's going into the red and it doesn't really matter. But all of them said, use the red to finish up the scarf. All of them. When I asked, you know, here are my options, I'd rather take a pop rather than not taking or the purple one, or I did not have enough of air guitar, of course, to finish, so purple or the pink one, and all of them say, take the red. One of you, I think in the comments, has said that you were hoping I would knit more red items because you thought it was going to fit me. So I decided on the red. On second thoughts, I think the fabric difference is very important. The silk is very sheer, and the red, even if single-stranded, I don't think I said, but all of the mohair dots are with mohair double-stranded. Even if it's only single-stranded, you see it's much, much thicker and denser than the rest of the scarf. I guess I can live with that. And here is all of the little scarf with the little pops, with the little dots on them, and using some of my air guitar. So you see, if I place the scarf like this, the one dot with air guitar is at the center, and this is what I wanted. On second thoughts, I guess I could have continued at a smaller rate of increase because this is quite pointy, but whatever, because usually my other scarves, what I do, I tie them up like this, but you see, you miss some of the pops, you miss La Bien-Aimée's pops, you see more of the red, but I guess if I do this, because all of my other scarves are just, the little bandanas are just plain. But I guess I can do this and show these 3 dots, and if I do the other way around I can show some other dots. So anyway, I'm gonna take it out because even if it's not very warm outside, it's quite warm in the house, and I'm a bit warm, and my wrist warmers are keeping me warm too. So I am sure I will make some other scarves based on Punkt and the way the pops are. You are able to make the pops. I think it's a very, very interesting idea. I think La Bien-Aimée has published other scarves where she makes squares or rectangles and other type of shapes on bandanas and based on the same technique. So if you have Punkt, I guess you can use that technique to make whichever shapes you want using Intarsia, and that's a nice one. So I mean, the purple goes very well with all of my blues, and to be honest, it was just in my bag under the wrist warmers, and I spent over an hour before I started to record, thinking, once again, I will have to say the goblins have taken something away from me. And I was thinking, God, I went into the car, I looked under the car seats, I looked everywhere, I could not find it, and it was just below the wrist warmers. So anyway, just one finished object. And now we are going to go through my current work in progress, or at least the ones that I may take with me for a week or a week and a half. And all of the cast-ons I have decided to take with me. And if you allow me, just a little moment, a little segue in my knitted bag that one of my friends brought me last year when she went to the Knit It festival in Lyon in October, and I could not come, or September maybe, and I could not come with her. Just one little segue. I had said I wanted to make my Colocasia sweater a bit longer, so this is what I'm currently working on. It's a mindless knitting. I did unravel the ribbing. It was a bit complicated to unravel because one, I usually tuck my ends in very well, so it was a bit difficult to untuck. And then it was a bit difficult to unravel the last cast off row. And I was not prepared to that because usually cast-offs, once you get the first few stitches, it all unravels easily. And so I would say that Marilyn, which is the one yarn I used to knit my Colocasia, is a bit difficult to unravel if you have a cast-off row to take off. I'm not sure how long I'm going to be making the edging, how long I'm going to go. I think I want to make it a bit longer, and I'm going to start to make short rows in the back. So what I did, I unraveled the cast-on row, and as there were many stitches that had been unraveled from the row below that had been unraveled at the same time. So I did unravel and retrieve the stitches as I went for the whole circumference, and this is what I have left. And I have an additional ball, so to make the other sweater, the striped sweater with the white Marilyn. So I think I have plenty to make this one longer, a couple short rows, and have enough, because this is almost a full ball, and have enough to use on the other sweater to make stripes. So I hope this is going to be finished before I have to leave. Okay, next, also a short one or short segment, because you've seen that many times. As I have been working on a little bandana, I did not work much on my Kuura socks. So I've been knitting a little bit on them, and with the bandana I was going to all of my medical appointments. I mostly knit that bandana during medical appointments, waiting in the rooms. Also, I had other medical tests done before the surgery. I had one full day at the hospital to see many other medical doctors and anesthesiologists and everything. So I had a lot of time, and I did knit most of the bandana over there during these medical appointments, and it was quite a long knit, so I could have finished my socks, I'm sure, if I had not been working on the bandana. But anyway, my Kuura socks, the first one, I'm just going to show you the one that I've knit and blocked, and you've seen it already. The first one is done after I have found a way to knit colorwork socks for myself. So this one is blocked. No, it's washed, and it's okay. I'll keep it in my bag for reference for the other sock, even though I always write everything. So you see, I've just knit a few rounds. I'm almost finished. Maybe I need a couple more rounds to finish, 5 rounds to finish the cuff before I go into the color work, so I need to do that. And I'm also keeping the one sock that is not working for me to unravel and repurpose the yarn. So whether finished or not, I may take it with me, because depending on how much is left, I'm sure I have enough to make a pair of shorties. So if I take my socks with me and I finish the second Kuura sock, I have enough to cast on another one and make maybe just a shorty. So maybe I will have to think of a different color if I want a different contrasting color for the cuff, the heel, and the toes. I will maybe take another one. And this one is in my little bag from Brittany that my beloved sister-in-law brought me one Christmas, I think. All of their vacation, they go over there, and it's the perfect size for a sock, and most of my socks live in there when I'm working on them. Okay, next, the bulk of what I am going to take with me, and I did not say this is all living in that big tote bag that I bought for my grocery shopping, because in France you are not allowed to have any plastic bags any longer, and the grocery shops do not provide you with paper bags. So you have, if you ever come to France for the first time, you need to bring your own bags to the grocery store, because they are not going to give you any. And if you don't want to bring your own bags, you can buy some. Most of the time you can buy some cloth ones, the way this one is, and or paper bag. You can buy paper bags in some stores, but not very often, because it's not the culture here. So when I got that bag, it was so both sides are with these little birds that look like some kind of quilting, to do my groceries. Once I took it home, I said, no, it's too nice. I'm not going to be grocery shopping with that. And you have 2 big canvas type of handles. It's really practical. There is one little pocket inside, but you can't place much in it. So most of the time I'm not using it. But I was thinking, no, this bag is too nice for groceries and to be, dirty and stuff like that. So I just keep it for my knitting. So what is in that very big bag? that I may have to size down, at least what's inside. First is the Outtakes sweater that I have swatched for, and it's in this very beautiful little bag that Rosemary sent me. At the same time, she sent me the possum yarn, and I unraveled my swatch. I'm not sure this is the one ball, but anyway, I have decided to cast on with the yellow mohair. So I'm not sure what that thread is. It's from some other things, I guess. So I've decided to cast on with the yellow mohair for the little contrasting color. And let me tell you, it was a pain to unravel. First, because possum yarn is quite fragile, so that I knew. So I was quite, delicate unraveling the part. But the mohair was all tangled. It was very difficult to unravel. Anyway, I did manage to unravel everything, to place all of the other mohair candidates in their own place and stuff, and place them away. Have enough of the yellow to be knitting on it. The little color work is not difficult. From what I haven't read the pattern other than for swatching for the color work, I think it's a yoke sweater. It's not going to be difficult. So I think I can take the yarn for Outtakes with me, and we'll see if I cast it on, because I don't have any more sweater on my needles. I have several lined up, sure, but I want to get to this. And it could be a way, last year when I started the reduplicate with the possum yarn, it was not a good experience. Maybe it's a way to transform that into a good experience. So that's the first thing. The second thing I'm taking with me is the Boucle Laine yarn that I got at Le Fil de la Manche. So I have 200 grams of this reddish tomato type of color. I will write, it's in my Ravelry page. I may write below what kind of colorways there are. And this kind of light pink, and I have 150 grams for the contrasting color. So, did I say it was for Mar by Natasha Hornby? You see this one? It's not a cake. What happened, and after that one first ball, I did try to cake with my Swift and ball winder. I was much more careful for the other ones, and you see that worked. Maybe the Swift was a bit too tensed. I mean, I was stretching the skein a bit too much. Maybe, I don't know what happened. At some point, and maybe I was going too fast. And I think it's one good thing to be reminded of when you cake a skein, don't go too fast. I think I was going too fast. I was too confident. And at some point, I felt some kind of clicks. I have a manual one. I felt some kind of clicks, but I did not care. I was watching a video. And at some point, it was not going well any longer. I looked down, and my cake was going outside of the ball winder on its own. I just stopped before it was, and I hold the thread in my hand between the Swift and the ball winder so that it fits straight and at the right angle and the right height into the ball winder. So that's not that. It went all berserk. I had 2/3 of it on the ball winder, and I started to think, it is time to apply what you say every time. I when I was young, I really loved to untangle yarn. I know it's something that people love that. I can't say I love it. I know how to do it, obviously. I know how to do it, but it took me 2 hours to get to that point from the big cake tangled mess that it went on its own off of the ball winder, and it was all tangled up. What made it difficult is this yarn is extremely rustic, so it's boucle laine. It's yarn that is made from sheep that grow on the Isle of Ouessant and on the mainland just in front of Ouessant, so these are very rustic sheep. And you see it's really clinging on itself. You know, I do that, and if I do that, it doesn't fall on its own. I have to pull on it. So that was a big problem, untangling, because I did not break anything, but I was thinking if I pull too much on it, it will break, because it's quite loosely plied. It's plied, but it's not very tightly plied, so it will break. And I did not want to have that many knots. So it did break on one occasion, and it did break with what was left on the Swift. So I think there was something with my way of putting the skein there. But anyway, it took me 2 hours. And I was I was fuming at the end of the 2 hours, and I was thinking, calm down, because if you don't calm down, you will never untangle that thing. So I did take the time to untangle almost, 2/3 of 100, 400 meters. So that's 300 meters of a bit less of yarn. It was not easy. When I was younger, I was always the one untangling yarn for everyone. I really did love that. Now I think it's a waste of my time. I can be doing many more interesting things, and I know how to do it. I manage, and I know how not to break the yarn and everything, and how to get from one big tangled mess to that. Yeah. So once I got there, I said, okay, my little ball, you are going to stay that way in a ball. I'm not going to cake you, and I will use you first, because I know it's not very good to keep yarn in a ball when there is a lot of tension, because it's going to be a bit different gauge from that one. So I'm going to start with that for Ma. And after that, what I did is reduce the tension on the Swift and go slower, and I could manage to cake the remaining ones. So yes, so I want to be casting on Ma. I think it is a more complicated item. Not complicated in the way that, it's mosaic, it's not complicated, but the pattern can be complicated if I'm a bit confused or something, or a bit weak in my brain. So the first part is easy, so I guess I can make the first part, and then if the rest of the bottom of the shawl is too complicated, I can leave it there and wait for better times. So once we are talking about le fil de la manche, I did get also these two skeins at Brin de Malice. So she uses yarn from the Pyrenees, from laine paysanne, that she dyes. And this was an experiment. So she dyed it with indigo, and you see she over-dyed it with some kind of a reddish color. And because, indigo is a very fragile pigment, or maybe not fragile. I mean, if you're in the dyeing business, please correct me if I'm wrong. But indigo is a very particular dye, let's say that. it's difficult for indigo to stay with the natural type of dyeing methods, to stay in the natural fibers. So what she did is that she did go over it with another dye that has also some kind of iron in it. I think, I'm not recalling exactly what she said. For the indigo to stay more consistently in the fiber, in the yarn, in the wool, and not bleed out too much. So when I was caking these two, I have two balls. When I was, so 200 grams, when I was caking it, my fingers where I'm holding the yarn before it goes into the ball winder were blue. So she said it will bleed once I wash it, but once it's been washed once by myself, and it may stain my fingers when I knit it, it should be okay. So we'll see how it goes. My intention is to make Herbivore by Stephen West. Did I say Mar was by Natasha Hornby? I hope I did. So Herbivore is a very easy shawl, very straightforward. I have enough to make one. It's a shawl that will sit on the shoulders very beautifully, I think, because it's based on the idea of a triangular shawl with a central spine, but you have two additional spines on either side. And I think it makes a shape that I like a lot, and a shawl that sits on the shoulders quite beautifully, rather than the pure triangular ones. When you have a big triangle in the back, you don't know what to do it in the front, and the wingspan is a bit too short compared to the heights of the shawl. So whatever, I think Herbivore and this kind of shawl construction is going to be good. So this one is in the easy knit type of projects, and Mar is on the more complicated ones. So for the easy parts, I will have Oiticica and I will have Herbivore. And if Oiticica is a bit too complicated and Mar is a bit too complicated, and I get sick of Herbivore, I am bringing with me some old stash with an idea I have in my mind for a very long time. And sorry, my little cat is at the bay window. I'm not sure he's at the window. I'm not sure what he sees, and he's scratching the window. So this is, I'm not sure I will write the colorway, from La Bien-Aimée, and I had knit a muscle burr with it. And there were two things that I did not like. First, that little part was really having a lot of pulling, and I did not like that. So after a while I cut it and did helical knitting with it. So you see, this one is much pinker than the rest of the big ball. So that was one thing. And the second thing, I did use the large size, and it was way too large. So muscle burr is going to be into also the easy knits. So if I get tired of Herbivore, and if I don't, Oiticica is in the middle, Mar is on the more complicated side of the knitting because of the charts you have to follow and stuff like that. So I'm going to cast on a muscle burr with that, and I'm going to pair it. I will write, I guess I have here the colorway, and the colorway is Sosu. So did I say so this was part of what I had intended to use into my sorrel. The colors did not go all together, so I dropped this colorway, and I also dropped Sosu to choose another one. What I want to do is a muscle burr with both of them, so I will only have to use half of what the 100 merino single skins. And what I want to do is do micro stripes for the brim. So, have one side that will be pink, and then micro stripe with this grayish, greenish type of colorway. And then, so micro stripes, so maybe one row each, or maybe two, I will have to see. for the brim, so to have the brim on one side and the other side, and do the other side with sosu. So this is what I have intended to be doing for a long time, several years, and I did not get to it. So if all what I have planned is a bit too complicated and I get bored of herbivore, this will be very easy because the muscle burr passed the first few rows, and everybody said the first few rows are difficult. On DPNs, I did not think it was very difficult. A bit. You have to be a bit precise and stuff like that, but past the first few rows, it's fine. I will need a muscle burr because it's miles and miles and miles or kilometers of stockinette, and it is just what I guess I'm going to be needing. And last but not least, what I have left of the tweed. So this is why I did not show it to you on my sweater. This is the Mayo Tweed Supreme that I used for my sweater. You see these very beautiful yellow and bright blue specks. So I have this ball and a partial one that are left. So what I want to be doing, and I'm sure I have enough because one skein is 350 meters if I recall correctly. Yes, one skein is 50 grams and 350 meters. So I have 350 meters here and I have maybe half of it here. So I have at least 450 and maybe 500 meters. And what I want to be doing is this kind of ponchos or capes. So you need a rectangle and you fold one piece and you sew it on the other part. There are many free patterns on Ravelry. I haven't decided which one I was going to be making, if any. I may just use the dimensions because none of them are, or what I found, would be using that type of yarn. So I will most probably make some kind of ribbing for it to be kind of stretchy. Most probably maybe 50, 60 centimeter wide and then continue straight. So this is going to be a very easy knit. And once I get to a certain length, and I will have to look at some free patterns to see which dimensions they were going to be using, use the last border to knit it towards the bottom of the rectangle, and then you have a hole in the middle that you can use as a cape, and it's going to be a very light one. And also a warm one, because I think as a top layer, this is going to be very thin and very warm because it's wool. Yes, it's 100% superfine merino wool. So 100% merino wool. So it can be very warm on top of something. It brings an additional layer. It traps air in between whatever you are wearing and this part, and it keeps you warm. So this is what I want to be doing, because what I do enjoy, and I put it away, what I do enjoy with the little bandana and stuff, little bandanas like that, and other very light scarves like that, is that you can bunch them up. They do not take any space, and they can go into your bag, your handbag, or your school bag, or your work bag. And if you are cold, you just pull them out. And I've seen people also use that type of scarves or ponchos just around the neck, and you tuck one side in the hole in the middle, and you have it around your neck. So this is what I want to be doing too. So I think I have to choose between the muscle burr and that for a very easy knit. And I am very drawn to taking that one with me because the muscle burr has been waiting for so long. It can wait a little bit more, but one thing I'm thinking, I did ball the yarn up because it was before I was having my ball winder. When I decided to do the muscle burr after I bought my ball winder, I did bought that one. So this one has been in cake and in a bowl for a long time. So I think I should use it. My thought was also to do some wrist warmers, the same kind of idea, after I'm done with the muscle burr, once I've used everything that I need. So that is one of my dilemma. Both shawls, more with the boucle laine and herbivore with the brin de malice yarn. I kind of bought the yarn for this occasion when I'm going to be away and I need to take something with me, and I haven't been knitting a shawl in a long time. Everything is relative, right? But my last shawl was from a while ago. So those two ones, I'm almost 100% certain I will take them with me. Outtakes, I want to take it with me. I want to break the curse of the bad memories in the possum yarn. So I'm also almost 100% sure I will take it with me. Kuura, the sock, it's not going to take much room, so I can take it with me, that's no problem. If I pass, I want to go past the color work and then it's going to be very easy, so it's going to be an easy knit. Now I'm not sure which one I'm going to take with me. This is not going to be taking much room, right? I can take them both. This is my only dilemma. I can take them both, right? At first I was thinking that one, and when I was talking to you, I was thinking this one has been in a bowl in a cake for a long, long time, so I need to get to it. So right now, I think I'm going to take them both and leaving me with options from whatever I want to be doing. And if I want to go from one project to the other, if I get bored or something quite quickly on a project, maybe having a variety of projects to be working on, it's going to be a good idea. Because last time I did work on Vertis Unites by Stephen West, the huge blanket, it's almost a blanket, that I made with the sportswear yarn from Lenal West, all the natural colorways. I only had that one to work on with reduplicate that was being very difficult, and at some point I was bored. So I think getting some variety is a good thing. If I have to take something out, I think I should take Outtakes out and one of them. Or maybe I should leave more at home and take Outtakes and all of this with me. That could be another option, right? So I don't know. For now, everything is in the bag and everything is coming with me. So please tell me what you think. Okay, that's gonna be it for today. You see, I'm quite embarrassed because I was thinking, talking in front of the camera and wording out all of my thoughts is gonna give me a clear vision, a clear answer, and I will know what I take with me or not. Now I don't know, and everything is back into the big bag. So I may take everything. I don't know. Please let me know what you think. In the meantime, I hope this video that I am pre-filming is going to be finding you well, that you are able to take care of yourself, to find joy and happiness into your knitting. Because if you don't make time every day for joy and happiness, it's not going to be coming all by itself into your life, in particular in this very crazy world we are living in, and it's building up my anxiety on top of the natural anxiety of what is going to be happening to me in a few days. it's gonna be happened in the past when you see the video. But anyway, I hope you manage to do that every day into your life, whether with your knitting, because this is a knitting community. So it is important that we can place calm and joy and happiness into our craft every day, so that all of the stress that is prompted from the outside world and from the political situation and from the war situation and from the hunger situation and from also your own maybe personal health journey, or people from your family or people you are close to who are undergoing some difficult health times, it is important that we manage to place a couple minutes, 1, 2 stitches, a couple hours of something else into our day. And yes, I thank you very, very much for being here with me, for being part of my journey, of my knitting journey and of my personal journey. And I will see you next time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Top. Okay, first things first, what am I wearing? As the weather is a little windy, so it's top. So, first things first, what am I wearing? As the weather is nice, but a little colder, there is a lot of wind. I could wear my t-shirt that I self-drafted with the maillot tweed